Okay, we're doing the Bagua Pole Form. The Bagua Staff form follows or is akin to the Bagua Linear Form, which was what we finished at this camp, whereas the Bagua Pole Form is the equivalent of the Bagua Circular Form. It's a very beautiful form, very bodybuilding form, and that's 50% of its reason for being is for building the body. Now this stick is probably, it should be, for my height it should be, this is the height of the stick. You stand up and where your middle finger goes to, that's the height of the stick. So that's about that too long for me, you see. The stick, this is a curtain rod, which is great for practice, but it should be a lot heavier than that in order to give your body a workout and your balance, because you're doing very, you've got to make sure no one's standing anywhere near you, or any crockery or televisions in particular are anywhere near you when you're doing these moves, because you're doing very violent moves like that, and you've got to keep your balance as we do in the Bagua. It's relatively easier doing it like that, but when you have to do it with the stick, you've got to, it really teaches you about your own balance. The second part, of course, is its general self-defense abilities. Now in the old days, of course, you were allowed to walk around with something like this. Nowadays you're not.
Yeah.
So the self-defense,
The stick is allowed.
is it?
It's just a piece of wood.
Not in Australia or the UK.
No,
They're so afraid of weapons in the UK. Well, I mean, even if in Australia you can walk down the street with a machete or an axe, but not a piece of wood. So stupid. And it's a bit long for you know, in modern society, but it is a fantastic weapon. Obviously it's a very long weapon, and it can also be a very very fast weapon. A lot of people do these things like, yeah, like this rubbish type of thing, or wow, like this. But it's a very fast weapon as well, because you're using methods, and to do methods like this, mine's made of heavy rattan. It's about that round, and you're supposed to be able to bend the stick at the end when you do it, and that takes a lot of power, especially when it's a heavier stick. There are 3 heights that you hold the stick, only 3 heights. The most common height is the equivalent of this when you walk in a circle, and it's held facing down like this. That's the most common height, and you walk the circle. I tend to walk the circle the same as in Bagua, with the little slip step and the heel not leaving the ground. However, this is not so important when you're doing the pole form, because it's a very long weapon, and you've already learnt the walking in the circular form anyway, and that teaches you very devastating kicks, which is, you do kicks in this form, but not these short little choppy kicks, because you've got such a long weapon. So the walking is not that important, so I'm not going to teach you about the walking today. Those of you who know it can do it, but other people can literally just, as long as you slide your ankles together when you walk around, that's fine. But keep in mind, the real Bagua walking is, you never pick your heels off the ground. The second height is the equivalent of this in the Bagua, when we do coming into the monkey builds the nest into number 5, isn't it? Yeah, number 5. So that's the equivalent, and it's held like that. So there's the first height, there's the next height, and the hands are wider apart as well to represent this. And the last height is to represent in the Bagua form this, when you're doing the empty hand form, and that's like this. So they're the 3 heights, there, there, and there. One of the main attacking methods is a slice to your leg. So Eli's maybe coming around with a slice to my leg, and I block it. I'll just stand up here. Obviously there's difference in size of the stick. So as he's coming around, see, there was a change of hands, an instant change of hands. That has to become subconscious in order for, sorry Eli, in order for you to do, that's why it's always good to have a good rattan, because you're not going to break your stick, because when you do the two-person movements, it's always clacking together. So he might be going for my legs with his long stick, and I'm coming around blocking it first of all, and then I'm coming over the top around to his neck. And that's what I did then, was basically the single pole change. That's all you get, that's a change of hands. See how the front hand comes back, and the other hand comes up. So we start out, you've got to imagine, of course, you've got a circle on the ground. As I said, it's not that important when you're doing the pole form, but it's always nice to have some sort of a circle drawn on the ground so you know basically where you're going to walk. And there's also a center. I've just got the normal Bagua circle on our training platform and a dot in the center. You start like that, facing counterclockwise. This is the number one. We call it a pole change, but it's the equivalent of single palm change in the empty hand. So my back is getting rounded. The right hand's going to slide back. Your left hand's going to come forward as you take your right foot out and turn it in. It looks like this. So there's my center. And there's the circle. See how the right foot is at 45-degree angle to the circumference of the circle pointing out. Now I'm going to take that movement out of the circumference. My back will be facing the center as I take the pigeon-toed stance. I'm going to do another hand change. The left hand comes back, or the right hand comes up as the left hand comes down. And I go down, up, and another change of hands as I push off. And that's where we do our first walk around the circumference. I'll take you through that again. Right hand comes back, and as the left hand comes forward, you take your first step. You continue that motion out of the circumference. As soon as you get there in the pigeon-toed stance, you do another change. The right hand will come up, and the left hand will come down. It goes over your head. Spin around, and when you get to here, you do another change. The right hand always moves first, and the left hand comes down, and then you push off, and that's the normal walking position. That's the equivalent of this in the empty-handed position. And that's where we walk around the circumference once with the tip of the stick. See where the tip of the stick is? It doesn't move.